Our next session is the panel on young children, and our theme is learning through play. Hansa Dave is the coordinator of this session. She is a teacher by profession, and she serves as a sevika for local and national Hindu children's programs, primarily through Mandirs. She is also the grandmother of 6 wonderful grandchildren. Hansa auntie, I will now turn it over to you.
Namaste. Thank you, Sohini. My name is Hansa Dave, and I'm the children's coordinator for the Hindu Temple of Central Indiana. I'm a teacher by profession, and I have worked with the children for over 25 years. In doing so, I have learned a lot about what works for kids and what inspired them. I have worked with many parents over the years and understand their needs. During this Swarna Jayanti program, we realized there's a need for children involvement. This program wouldn't be complete without our youngest member and their supportive young parents as well. So we found a committee and decided to invite elementary, middle, and high school students to participate in speeches. We had well throughout all the topics and received many entries and had a panel of 3 selected judges. We could see the hard work and dedication behind this submission. I also know there were 45 sets of parents involved in making this happen. This is the great example of family teamwork. This is the legacy we want to leave for our children, a legacy of dharma that is not easily broken. We are carrying a very important torch to pass along the next generation. Thank you very much for our dedicated team, Jayaben Ashtama, Asthana ji, Amita Mehta, Ranjita Dave, Uma Vashisht, Preeti Shukla, and our youth who is going to be MC today, Bhuvan Dave and Sneha Vashishta. I would like to pass it to our next speaker, Kea Bhatt, who is a young parent, and she will share her experience. She is also happened to be my daughter. With the God grace, we are very happy we are here today. And please watch our kids' speech. They really work hard, and parents work hard too. So involvement with the kids, parents, our panel, and judges all work hard for this panel. So please watch them. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thanks, Mom. Namaste, everyone. My name is Kea, and I would like to welcome you to our children's program. I feel honored to be speaking to open up this part of the program because our children, as we all can agree, are some of our most important stakeholders in all of this. But just a quick background on myself. Professionally, I work for Deloitte & Touche. I've been with Deloitte for the last 14 years. Personally, I'm the daughter of Kumar and Hansa Dave, which some of you may know. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I've been living for the last 12 years after I got married. I have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, ages 1, 4, 5, and 8. And I've been a teacher here at the Hindu Center in Charlotte for our CROP program, which stands for Children's Religious Oriented Program, for the last 12 years, teaching the high school kids, grades 9 through 12. But prior to moving to Charlotte, I spent about 10 years at the Hindu Temple of Central Indiana with the Bal Gokulam program that my parents started there. So clearly, being a part of our Hindu organizations and staying close to our Sanatan Dharma has been a part of my life from the very beginning. As I reflect on this monumentous VHPA milestone and hearing all the inspirational women and the panelists and the speakers since this morning, I'm humbled by the fact that so many people have put in this much time and effort into making this happen. And most importantly, the involvement that we've gotten from our families with young children. You'll see the speeches of our little ones and the dances here in a few minutes, and you'll see the efforts of the kids on the screen, but you won't necessarily see all the efforts of the parents behind the scenes, pushing the kids, practicing with the kids, relaying why we're doing this and the importance. It's certainly not easy. I get it because I've been there, and I probably had to spend as much time as the kids did on these speeches. But what this is showing is that the parents are investing in their children. There are many things, quite frankly, that they could be doing with their time right now and their children's time, but they're choosing this. And that is something to be proud of. And I always say this, your children will have many teachers that come in and out of their lives, but their biggest, most important teacher, what we call their number one guru, is their parents. And for parents, and actually I'll take it one step beyond that, for the grandparents as well who have all these little grandchildren, I think our role and responsibility, especially in 2020, has become exponentially important. We have been challenged in ways we never thought was possible. But if there's anything that I've learned in the last 6 months, especially, is that if you stay positive, they will follow your lead. So lead by example and set the vibe in your house. Do the shlokas, do arti, celebrate our Hindu festivals, our culture, speak our language, eat our food. Teach them the Ramayana and Mahabharata and what the characters represent, the gods, goddesses, but most importantly, teach them to be proud of who they are and confident in their Hindu identity. Teach them to keep Bhagwan in the center and everything else around it, because along with our role as parents and grandparents, we need to teach them that there's another guide, which is Bhagwan, to lead the way. One of the things that I think is most important to tell our kids and ourselves also is if we have Krishna leading our life chariot, we'll never be lost. And so this year, 2020 in particular, I think it's rattled the whole world, but it's also given us an opportunity as individuals and families to press the reset button on life. What we've learned, me personally, is that children are resilient. There's a lot that we can actually learn from them. If you see them, they're still laughing, they're playing, they're giggling, they're carrying on, no matter what the circumstances. And I read a quote once that I really, really like. It said that a 4-year-old smiles 40 times a day, while a 40-year-old only smiles 4 times a day. So let's be more like our kids sometimes and smile more. Let's teach them to minimize the stress and maximize the impact. And I'll end with this. During this time in this pandemic that we're in, the 2 words that we hear most are lockdown and virtual. If there's something that we want to teach our kids, and maybe ourselves as well, is that we have to remember that the power that's within us is never on lockdown. We just have to search for that strength that already exists and rise above. Actually, one of the stories that I was just telling my kids to try to relay this point and teach them this message was during the Ramayana, when Hanuman and the entire army got to the ocean. They had to cross it to get to Lanka for the first time. This was the first time that they were going to see Sita Mata. No one knew how they would cross or who would cross. Hanuman was the only one that possessed the strength to do it. But he forgot. He actually forgot that he was capable of this big task. But then he was reminded by Jamvant and Angad and everyone else when they said, Jago, Hanuman, Jago, which means wake up and remember your strength. And once he did, we know what happened. The rest is history and what he was able to accomplish. So I think we're all like Hanuman in a sense that we already have that strength within us. We just sometimes forget, but we have to just unleash that potential. And then lastly, this word virtual, I've probably heard that the most in the last few months. The whole world is virtual. This conference is virtual. Work is virtual. School is virtual. But our connection with Bhagwan has been virtual from day one. So think about that for a second. The shlokas we say, the pujas we do, when we close our eyes and pray, all of that is virtual. So let's focus on developing the most important virtual connection there is, and that's the one with Bhagwan, because that is a connection that's most flexible. It's on your time, your terms, no technology issues, no interference, and there's always a direct link. So let's focus on turning that virtual into a reality, and let's proceed with this children's program. I want to thank everyone for giving me a few minutes to speak, and I'm excited to start this program by turning it over to 2 very special youth, Sneha Vashisht and Bhuvan Dave, who will be your MCs for the rest of the program. Sneha and Bhuvan?
Thank you, Kaya Didi. So, namaste. My name is Sneha Vashishta. I am a high school sophomore and I live in Carmel, Indiana. I have been coming to our Mandir HTCI's Bal Goklam program from a very young age. I have been deeply rooted into Hinduism through our Bal Goklam program and various language programs at our Mandir. I am also a Sanskrit as a foreign language graduate and a violinist in the Indianapolis Youth Symphony Orchestra. I will be one of your MCs today.
Namaste everyone, my name is Bhuvan Dave. I live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm currently in 8th grade at Pioneer Middle School. I am a proud vegetarian and a member of the student council in my school. I love Bal Vihar and I've been attending it since I was 5. My family has been associated with VHPA for the past 15 years, and we are proud to do so. I will be your other MC for this event.
We will begin with an introduction to the VHPA organization and what it provides to the younger generation. Almost 50 years ago in New York, a young Hindu lost his mother, and in this community around him, no one was clear exactly what should be done in regards to Hindu customs. This event triggered the thought of forming an organization to serve the needs of the Hindu community, sustain Hindu values, and keep every Hindu a Hindu in America. A few committed young Hindus came together and under the guidance of Guruji M.S. Golwalkarji, Swami Chinmayanandji, and other gurus formed the Vishwa Hindu Parishad of America in 1970 in New York. Since then, continuously for 50 years, the Shraddha and support of members of this organization has enabled it to serve the community and grow in the process. VHPA will be celebrating its Swarna Jayanti, or its 50th anniversary, in September of 2021. VHPA is also the pioneer in offering the Bal Vihar program to the community. The first Bal Vihar program was started in 1972. We welcome you to this year's children's session, where we will see the Hindu values and morals that have encompassed the younger generation across the nation through the award ceremony of the VHPA Children's Speech Competition.
2021 holds one of VHPA's most important events in its history, Swarna Jayanti, or our 50-year anniversary. As we were getting ready for this prestigious event, we considered taking advice from many of the members of VHPA who have been with the organization for a long time. One of those members, Sanjay Uncle, or for me Sanjay Daji, told us that Swarna Jayanti has a defining theme. He said, "Soak the knowledge and wisdom bestowed to us by our ancestors and elders. Learn from the past and be inspired to achieve the right things. Progress towards Dharma, live and act in Dharma. Protect Dharma and be protected by Dharma." For some background knowledge on what Swarna Jayanti means for VHPA, its purpose is to celebrate Hindu movements, achievements, organizations, people, and the Hindu future, which we will be witnessing today. These children have worked very hard on their speeches, dances, and skits. Our organization is influencing many more kids, just as you will see in today's presentation. I myself would have never had so much interest if I never attended the VHPA events as a child or went to Bal Vihar every weekend. We believe with the next generation, the same ideals and beliefs that were present in India over 100 years ago will persevere on and keep standing. It is very important for everyone here to not just sit and watch, but to hear all of the children's speeches as they worked on the entire summer to get them ready just for you. Now Sneha will tell you more about how we conducted our contest.
During these times, we were unable to meet in person for the conference. Regardless, a virtual speech competition was held across the nation for Hindu students of all ages. In the short span of 3 weeks, over 40 students from all age groups across the country sent in their 3-minute speech entries to our judges. Every participant performed phenomenally, making it extremely difficult for our judges. The participants were split up into 4 age categories, each with a set of topics regarding their inputs on Hinduism and our roots. A certificate and prize will be sent to each and every one of these participants in recognition of their hard work during this summer. We would like to thank all the judges, the children's panel, the students, and their parents for enabling these students and putting their dedication and support into this competition, enabling the younger generation to learn and share their views on our roots.
We will now present the first place winner video speeches and announce the second and third place winners. Everyone worked very diligently on their speeches, so be sure not to miss out. Followed by the speech contest, we will be viewing the cultural program, which includes a wonderful skit on the story that takes place between Lord Krishna and his friend Sudama. After that, we will be watching a beautiful dance that is also portraying Lord Krishna.
Namaste, my name is Veer. And I am Raj. Today, we're going to start the program with chanting the Ganesh Shloka. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva, Sarvakareshu Sarvada. And now we will chant the Rudram. Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshaya Mahadevaya Trambakaya Triprantakaya Trikarnikaya Kalai Rudraya Neelakantaya Mrityunjaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. Namaste and Pranam.
We will now announce the speech contest winners.
For the elementary, kindergarten to first grade category, the topics were my favorite avatar of Bhagwan, my favorite Hindu festival, and why I'm proud to be a Hindu.
The first place winners are Srimati Raghunath and Vishwak Ramnath Sriramoju.
Namaskaram. My name is Srimati Raghunath. I am in first grade, and today I'm going to be telling you about my favorite Hindu festival, Navaratri. My grandmother told me two stories. The first one is about an evil demon called Mahishasura. 3 goddesses tried to defeat him, but they could not. Goddess Parvati, Goddess Saraswati, and Goddess Lakshmi tried 3 days each, but they could not. On the 10th day, finally, they all united together and they formed Durga. And finally, they were able to defeat the evil demon Mahishasura. The second story is about Sri Rama was able to defeat Ravana and united with Goddess Sita Mata. What we do on Navaratri is we arrange wooden steps and we arrange dolls on it. And my mom makes all sorts of sundals and we offer it to God. Guests come to our house and we share the prasadam and they come to look at our dolls. And my favorite part is singing. I love singing. Girls are special during these days. They give all sorts of goodies. They give bracelets, chains, earrings, and all sorts of other stuff. On the day of Ayudha Puja, we put our books in front of Goddess Saraswati and we put sandanam and kungavum everywhere on cars and mobile phones. And on the day of Vijayadashami, we go to my music teacher's house to sing a song. They say that if you're planning to start something new, it's good to start it on Vijayadashami. I love Bharatanatyam and I'm looking forward to starting it on Vijayadashami. I love Navaratri and I'm looking forward to having it this year and the other years following. Dhanyavada.
Namaste, Namo Namaha. My name is Vishwak Ramnath Sriramoju. I am from Louisville, Kentucky and studying in first grade. I also go to Balagopalam, organized by HSS Shaka. I have lots of. Today I would like to speak about my favorite festival. I like all Hindu festival, but my most Hindu festival is Ganesha Chaturthi. Lord Ganesha is a Hindu god with an elephant head. He has several other names like Vignesha, Vinayaka, Gajanana, Ganapati. He's a god of knowledge and wisdom. He removes evil and misfortune from our minds and makes us knowledgeable. Ganesha's birthday is celebrated as Ganesha Chaturthi, also called as Vinayaka Chavithi. On Ganesha Chaturthi, at our home we prepare an idol of Ganesha with clay to protect our environment. We should always prepare Ganesha with clay. My dad prepares beautiful Ganesha with clay and my mom does all the decorations for Ganesha. We also prepared a little tiny Ganesha. I really enjoyed making Ganesha. Me, my mom and dad wear traditional Indian dress. We light the diyas. We do puja to Ganesha. We chant Ganesha mantras like Vakkatunda Mahakaya, Agnajanana Padmarkam, Pranamya Sirasha Devam slokas and put delicious prasadam for Ganesha. Ganesha's favorite modaks favorite food is modaks. I pray to him to give me more knowledge and wisdom. There's so much I learned from Ganesha. First thing is to respect my parents and all elders. Second thing, to do my duty silently and love what I do. Third thing is to read books and gain more and more knowledge and become strong enough to solve my problems. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak on my festival. Dhanyavad.
The second place winners are Arsh Sahu and Raj Bhatt. The third place winner is Likit Sole Balaji.
In the elementary 2nd to 5th grade category, the topics were my favorite avatar of Bhagwan, my favorite Hindu festival, and why I'm proud to be a Hindu.
The first place winner is Anantika Vinod.
Namaste. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Thus says Bhagwan Krishna to Arjun during Mahabharat war. It is our supreme hope and belief that Bhagavan Vishnu will descend in the form of an avatar to restore cosmic order. The Dashavatars refer to the 10 avatars or incarnations of Bhagavan Vishnu. Avatars reveal the help rendered by him during various stages of human evolution. I would like to speak about my favorite avatar of Bhagavan Vishnu, Krishna. He is worshipped as the 9th avatar of Bhagavan Vishnu. Other avatars of Bhagavan Vishnu are Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Sri Rama and Balarama. Krishna avatar of Bhagavan Vishnu. He is near and dear to me. He is the ultimate personification of tenderness, compassion and love. For me, Krishna is a way of life. Today, there is so much competition around us. We work hard to secure the first position. Failure will drive us to sorrow and despair. This is where my Krishna, my friend, comes to help me out. He describes about karma in Bhagavad Gita. He asks us to do our duty and be detached from its outcome. Do not be driven by its end product. Enjoy the process of getting there. This noble thought drives away all my doubts and anxieties in every day of my life. This simple idea helps me to be happy and cheerful always. I spend quality time with my sister, but we have our fair share of fights and arguments. My parents come in between to stop the chaos and sort things out. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita gives us the supreme hope that when there's a decline in dharma, for the protection of the pious, for the destruction of evil, and for the establishment of virtue, Bhagwan Vishnu will manifest in every age. Paritranaya sadhuna, vinashaya chadushkritam, dharma sansthapanarthaya, sambhavami yuge yuge. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Second place winners are Swaroop Wag and Shivain Hakani. The third place winners are Dhanyashri Tyagarajan and Veer Bhatt.
For the middle school 6th to 8th grade category, the topics were most inspirational character from Ramayan/Mahabharata, Hindu values in daily life, and what do you understand by Hindu rituals?
The first place winners are Keshav Raghunath, Mridula Mukundan, and Meenakshi Pachava.
Namaste. My name is Keshav. I'm 11 years old and I currently go to 6th grade. Today I am going to be talking about the Hindu god Anjaneya, who is commonly referred to as Hanuman. From a young age, I have been connected to Hanuman. When he was very little, he had lots of powers, being a Vayuputra, which made him very mischievous. To stop him from doing this, the rishis cast a spell on him, which made him forget about his powers. Later, Jambavan reminded him of his powers by telling him who he was. Like this, we too have potential, but we need to seek a good guru or teacher to remind us of what it is. Hanuman also teaches me how to face obstacles. The first obstacle he faced was the Mainavata Parvatam, which was a mountain which offered him to rest before continuing on his journey. To this friendly obstacle, he responded by telling him, I will go and finish my journey, then I will rest on you later. The second one was a test sent by the Devas. Her name was Surasai, and she wanted to test Hanuman's wit. Using his brain, he quickly turned small and jumped into the Surasai's mouth and jumped out immediately. The third challenge was when an actual demon tried to attack him. He knew he had to actually force his way out of this situation. He also teaches me to be humble. He could have easily killed Ravana when he went to Lanka in search of Sita, but instead he only did what Rama told him to do, which was to tell Sita that Rama was coming. Also, he saved Lakshmana by bringing him the Sanjeevi Booty. Since he could not find the correct herbs, he quickly thought and brought the whole mountain. He did not take any credit for what he did. He dedicated everything to Rama. Now I'm going to tell you a shloka about Hanuman. Buddhir balam yashodairyam nidbhayatvam arogadat ajatyam vakpaditvam cha hanumat smaranat bhavet. The meaning of this shloka is to have intellect, courage, bravery, strength, fearlessness, and the power of speech. Hanuman inspires me a lot, and I hope he inspires you too. Dhanyavadaha.
Namaste. Today I'm going to be talking about Hindu values in daily life. In Hinduism, there are 4 primary values, known as the Purusharthas. Purusha means an individual or a person, and Artha means an objective, meaning, or pursuit. These 4 Purusharthas are called Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Each one represents a specific goal to a fulfilling and content life. Dharma is the religious duties, mortal rights, and rightful duties of each individual. It is also their true calling, such as being a doctor or a lawyer. A person's dharma is a combination of things, and as a person's life progresses, their dharma can change. One example of this is when a person whose true calling was once being a doctor could transition into being a mother and then back to a doctor. Artha is economic prosperity and value. It is using your career and wealth to make a living, financial security, and economic prosperity. Some people say that the pursuit of material wealth and the path of spiritual growth cannot go hand in hand. But if one is in poverty, worrying about how to support themselves and eat, one cannot learn spiritually. However, it is important to remain unattached to material wealth. In this state of detachment, one recognizes when one has fulfilled their financial goals and pushes away the desire for wealth, paving the way for moksha. Kama is a person's desires, such as wealth, recognition, and power. The Kama Purushartha states that one's desires should be fulfilled in their lifetime whilst in a state of awareness and without harming anyone in the process. To evolve spiritually and attain moksha, the barrier of one's desires must be crossed. As one recognizes their desires and one goes about fulfilling them in awareness and without judgment, one soon reaches the state of being able to transcend them. Moksha is liberation, the realization of self, and is the ultimate goal of this human birth. It is the inner realization that the Atman, or the inner self, is the same as the Supreme Self, or Brahman. As the goal of all existence, moksha is the ultimate purpose behind Hindu religious beliefs and practices. As a proud Hindu, and as someone who is still finding out their true calling, I want to remain true to these values. I have been exploring my general interests in order to find my inner dharma, and I strive to practice these purusharthas and be a better person every day. Thank you.
Namaste. My name is Meenakshi Pachava. I am studying in 8th grade. So, today my topic is about what is Brahma Muhurta. Everybody should wake up early in the morning before the sun rises, means 1.5 hours before the sun rises. So what will happen in this time is the planet's relationship with the sun and the moon is such that certain psychological changes happen at this time in the human system. Medical science has even found that there will be waste material and it has certain qualities which will it never have that qualities in the time, in the day. So there is a substantial research into this. Our body will be in a certain conducive atmosphere in this time. There is a nature production of what is called melatonin, which is secretion of pineal gland. We want to make use of this because the pineal gland is secreting at its maximum during Brahma Muhurta, which means you can stabilize. Modern medical science has said that melatonin is seen as mood stabilizer. I have been talking about bringing ourselves into ease, means calm. That means you're not a fluctuation. Bringing ourselves into calm happens during Brahma Muhurta time. 5 things to do in Brahma Muhurta is 1. Meditation. This is the best way to meet yourself, and one of the best Brahma Muhurta meditations is Sahaj Samadhi meditations. 2. Read or hear the knowledge. So, according to Ashtanga Hridaya, this is the Brahma Muhurta is the most suitable time to perceive spiritual knowledge and wisdom. 3. Plan your day. The level awareness and freshness bestows you to make it, plan your important things in your life, like work, finance, or day ahead. 4. Introspect. Recollect how many times you gave into negative emotions like jealous, anger, and greed. So don't let any of these drown you into guilt. Doing this every day will reduce your tendency to do that emotions and will reduce your bad karma. 5. Remember your parents, Guru, and God. We often do not get the time to remember our parents, Guru, and God. Rishi Shaunak suggests us to remember our parents, Guru, and God. God means nature. And so, everybody should wake up early in the morning before 1.5 hours and the sun rises and do these all things. And if you do yoga, you will get the health benefits also in this time. If anybody studies anything, they will remember at this time. And finally, Hinduism is not a religion. It is a lifestyle of human being. Thank you.
The second place winners are Atharv Sahu and Nishchal Sole Balaji. The third place winner is Ananya Sharma.
The high school category, the topics were, how would you describe your Hindu values to a non-Hindu peer? Describe some Seva projects you have been engaged in and how do you plan to continue giving back to society after high school? And how does being a Hindu affect your identity?
The first, second, and third place winners are Prathamesh Badve, Ravi Khiradia, and Nikita Nair.
Namaste everyone. Today my topic is going to be how I will present to my non-Hindu peers about my Hindu values. So let me just say a few couple words. Yoga, Ayurveda, Karma, and Guru. These are just a few words that are known to Western people. But honestly, to my surprise, the Western people know very little about Hinduism or any of our Hindu values. And the same goes to my Indian peers. Honestly, I feel really sad that our culture is very little known and has many misconceptions. But that's why I've chosen this topic, in order to explain to them about how rich and diverse our culture is. So let's start with what Hinduism actually is. Hinduism is the world's oldest religion, and we believe in three main things: reincarnation, karma, and all life is important. The first one, reincarnation. This goes along with many scientific theories that energy never gets exhausted. For example, the law of conservation of mass. Energy is just transferred from one body to another. When one body dies, the energy from that body gets transferred to another body. It's the same thing, I guess, for a battery. If you put a battery into a phone, and you take that battery and put it out to another phone, the battery just goes from one phone to another, so it just switches body. But the energy stays the same. And that's what reincarnation is. That's your soul. The second thing we believe in is karma. Karma meaning what you behave with others will come back to you. No matter what good or bad things I do, that same amount of things I did will come back to me with my deeds. If I do something bad to someone, something bad will happen to me. And that's what karma is. So Hinduism preaches the fact that you should always do good things to others, so you will get good things in return. The last important thing about Hinduism is that we believe that all life is sacred, and it should be loved and revered. We believe that everything in nature has value, and no one is above the other. For example, humans aren't above animals, animals aren't above plants, plants aren't above, say, a simple mosquito. But all life in nature matters, and all of them have their own purposes. We must not think that plants or animals are only made for us, but these are all part of nature, and that's what Hinduism stresses. In conclusion, Hinduism believes in three main values: reincarnation, karma, and all life is sacred. And that's what I hope to preach to my friends, and I hope you will too. Thank you.
Namaste. My name is Ravi Khiradia, and I am a freshman at Carmel High School in Carmel, Indiana. Many people my age struggle with identity crises. So how does being a Hindu define and affect my identity? Being a Hindu, I am taught to refrain from violence, whether it be by thought, word, or deed. This is very well stated in the scriptural phrase Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, which says that non-violence is a supreme ethical principle. Being a Hindu also gives me a broader perspective in my interactions with people of other faiths. Hindus believe that the whole world is one family, or Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Core to my beliefs is the propensity to do good for every person and every living being that we come across. Swami Vivekananda once said that service to humanity is service to God. These are the defining beliefs that I abide by as a Hindu. My identity also has a strong impact on my lifestyle. This includes what I eat, how I conduct myself, and how I pray. One of our values is vegetarianism. I don't eat meat, fish, or anything derived by killing a living being. Hinduism affects my activities, which include going to festivals, volunteering, attending Bhagokulam, even doing darshan at the temple sometimes. Doing darshan and praying at home are two of the ways that I worship. Most Hindu homes have an altar or prayer room which houses a murti of Bhagwan where they light a lamp and pray in the morning and evening. Being a Hindu also gives me a sense of belonging to one of the oldest religions in the world and a rich cultural heritage. The divinity of the Vedas, the spiritual practice of meditation and yoga, and the vast variety of beliefs and festivals. All of this makes me proud to be a Hindu. Thank you and namaste.
Namaste. I'm Nikita Nair, and the question I will be answering today is, how does being a Hindu affect your identity? The main question for our generation is, who am I going to be? It's hard to find yourself when you are tempted by different versions of joy. Every day we see students we go to school with partaking in drinking and drugs. While it is extremely easy to engage in such activities and forget about everything else, we must ask ourselves if that is who we really are. In our faith, we believe that we shouldn't do anything to harm our bodies, as we all have a divine being within us. Remembering things like this helps me to take care of myself, my body, my mindset, and my health. While taking care of our bodies, Hindus are aware of what we consume. We preach nonviolence, as everything has a soul and should not die for man's pleasure. As a Hindu, I practice vegetarianism to keep my body pure. As we are taking care of ourselves, Hindus help everybody around them and try to see the goodness in everybody. This can affect our future careers and the way we behave to people around us. For me, I will choose a profession that helps as many people as I possibly can. When I start to earn money, I do not want to earn with greed, nor do I want to earn taking advantage of others. Because we cherish our bodies, it is important not only to be physically fit, but mentally fit as well. I keep physically fit by stretching, by doing Surya Namaskar and playing tennis. To be mentally fit, Hindus do yoga and meditation to strengthen our minds. In temple, we do bhajans and we chant Om to connect with God more so that we will have blessings throughout life. I know that when I walk through life, I wish to attain good karma and follow the path of Dharma. But how do I follow the path of Dharma? And what is our Dharma? For me, knowing I have faith in Bhagwan and trusting that God will allow me to live my best life makes me believe that I'm on the correct path. I hope later on in my spiritual journey I will continue to follow Dharma. Attending the mandir every Sunday may not seem as necessary as it truly is, but being in the presence of divine energy sends a wave of protection and guidance through my soul. Wherever I may be, I am aware that if I try hard and do my best to be decent to everybody, I have God's blessings. Every practicing Hindu has the same ultimate goal. This is to attain moksha. Moksha is when you leave the cycle of reincarnation and eventually be with God. Moksha is attained by many lives of good karma and following the path of Dharma as well. My religious community helps me to learn more about our faith, which affects my every action. I may say a prayer to Goddess Saraswati before school or a test to do well in my studies. My sister, my mom, and I say our prayers every day so that our minds are at peace and so that we communicate to God in our own ways. If I meet someone whose opinions differ from mine, I remember not to get frustrated, but rather to hear what they have to say, remembering I get the karma I give. This is how being a Hindu affects my identity. Thank you for listening.
A big thanks to our judges Chand Shripad ji, Mona Khaitan ji, and Natarajan Chandramouli ji. And a big thanks to all of our participants. We will now move on to our cultural programs. We have a Krishna and Sudama Sanskrit skit and 2 Krishna dances. Enjoy!
Krishna Sudhama cha balya snehitau tau balakau Sandipani munehe ashrame vidyabhyasam kritavantau.
Agachantu chhatraah upavishantu satyam vada dharmam chara swadhyayan ma pramadaha matrudevo bhava pitrudevo bhava acharya devo bhava
गुरुकुलशिक्षणं समाप्तम्। भवन्तः सर्वे स्वगृहं गच्छन्तु। भवन्तः महापुरुषाः विजयशालिनः च भवन्तु।
अनेके वर्षाः गताः। सुधामा सामान्यगृहे वसति।
अहं बुभुक्षितः अस्मि।
मम अपि बुभुक्षा अस्ति। अम्बा भोजनम् आवश्यकम्। वत्साः सहनं कुर्वन्तु। भवतां जनकः भोजनम् आनयते।
नियते, अहं विवशः। कोऽपि उपायः न दृश्यते।
हरिपुत्र, भवतः बाल्यमित्रं कृष्णं विस्मृतवान् वा? तम् एकवारं मिलित्वा प्रत्यागच्छतु। सः निश्चयेन किमपि साहाय्यं करिष्यति इति मम विश्वासः अस्ति।
किं वदति भवती? जानाति वा? कृष्णः इदानीं द्वारकाधीशः, किन्तु अहं सामान्यपुरुषः। यदि तं मेलितुं गच्छामि तर्हि सर्वे जनाः मम परिहास्यं करिष्यन्ति। एतत् मेलनम् असम्भवम्।
चिन्तयतु, सत्यमेव सः राजा अस्ति, परन्तु कृष्णः गुणसामान्यः न। भवतोः तु परिसख्यमैत्रता अस्ति। कृष्णः करुणाशीलः। भवन्तं दृष्ट्वा सः प्रमोदितः भविष्यति एव।
अस्तु, तथा एव करिष्यामि। किन्तु बहुकालानन्तरं कृष्णं मेलिष्यामि। मम समीपे किमपि उपायनं नास्ति तं दातुम्।
अन्तः किमपि अस्ति वा इति पश्यामि। अहं स्मरामि, भवान् पूर्वम् उक्तवान् कृष्णाय पृथुकतण्डुलः बहु रोचते इति। स्मरति किल?
आम्, स्मरामि।
पाकशालायां केचित् पृथुकतण्डुलाः आसन्।
अत्र किञ्चित् एव अस्ति।
मा आयासयतु, शीघ्रं सिद्धिर्भवतु। मित्रं मिलित्वा आगच्छतु।
अस्तु, आगच्छामि।
को भवान्? अत्र किमर्थम् आगतवान्?
मम नाम सुदामा। अहं मम बाल्यमित्रं कृष्णं मेलितुम् आगतवान् अस्मि। कृपया मार्गं ददातु।
भवान् सामान्यः पुरुषः इव दृश्यते। अस्माकं राजा भवतः मित्रं कथं भवितुमर्हति?
कृपया मम विश्वासं करोतु। अहं सत्यमेव वदामि।
अत्र एव तिष्ठतु। अहम् अन्तः गत्वा आगच्छामि। जेतु महाराज, सुदामा इति नाम्ना एकः ब्राह्मणः भवन्तं मेलितुम् आगतवान्। प्रेषणीयं वा?
हे सुदामन्, मम प्रियमित्र, स्वागतम्। आगच्छतु, उपविशतु। भवान् तु कृशः जातः। किमर्थम्? भोजनं स्वीकरोतु। मह्यं किमपि उपायनम् आनीतवान् वा?
क्षम्यताम्, अहम् आनेतुं विस्मृतवान्।
भवान् सत्यं वदति वा? मम विश्वासः नास्ति।
अहं किञ्चित् पृथकतण्डुलम् आनीतवान्। भवते बहु रोचते इति स्मरामि।
उत्तमं, कुत्र अस्ति? पूर्वमेव किमर्थं न दत्तवान्? शीघ्रं ददातु। इदानीं वदतु सुदामा, भवान् कस्मात् कारणात् सहसा आगतवान्?
किमपि विशिष्टं कारणं नास्ति। सामान्यतया भवन्तं मेलितुम् आगतवान्। इदानीम् अहं प्रतिगच्छामि। धन्यवादः।
अस्तु मित्र, शीघ्रमेव मिलामः। कदाचित् परिवारेण सह पुनरागच्छतु।
किम् इदम्? मम लघुगृहं कुत्र अस्ति? प्रायः अहं मार्गं विस्मृतवान्।
हरिपुत्र, यदा भवान् कृष्णं मेलितुं गतवान्, सहसा अस्माकं स्थित्याः परिवर्तनम् अभवत्। अस्माकं गृहम् अपि परिवर्त्य एतद् भवनम् अभवत्। पुरातनवस्त्राणि कोशजवस्त्राणि अभवन्। अन्तः आगच्छतु। इदानीं गृहे सर्वत्र समृद्धिः एव दृश्यते।
जयतु श्रीकृष्ण। एतत् सर्वं भवतः एव लीला।
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं
देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्
मुरी बंसी बजैया नंदलाला कन्हैया मुरी बंसी बजैया नंदलाला कन्हैया मुरी बंसी बजैया नंदलाला कन्हैया मुही मुही ऐसे नहीं छेड़ो सावरे सुन सुन मौसे नहीं खेलो दावरे जाके यशोदा से कह दूंगी रे कान्हा सो जा सुनो दे चल दे पिया मोरे वो जुलमी गाऊं तेरे ही गीत क्यों ले मैं तेरी हो गई चढ़ गई तेरी पे तेरे दोष मेरा कान्हा सो जा सरा ओ कान्हा सो जा सरा कान्हा सो जा सरा ओ कान्हा सो जा सरा कान्हा सो जा सरा ओ कान्हा सो जा सरा मदना मनसूदना मनोहरा मनमोहना मदना मनसूदना मनोहरा मनमोहना
Namaste and thank you. I hope you will all enjoyed the children's program, and we will now, Bhuvan and I, pass it over to the conference MCs.